Hi guys, welcome back to Target Eyes. This is Harshini. On the second episode of the Interstate Dispute series, we are going to exclusively talk about the Krishna River dispute from its historical background to the current developments. Before that, I'll quickly provide you answers for the questions which we have given in our first video of the series, that is Assam-Mizoram border conflict. So let's quickly see what are the answers to these practice questions. The answer to this first preliminary practice question is Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act 1873. This act introduced inner line permit system in India. And for the next question, all three statements are correct, and for the explanation you can check the Assam-Mizoram border conflict video again. Coming to mains question, I'll just briefly tell you 4 key points which you can use to frame your answer. First is introducing traditional communities in India, like who are they and how integrated they are with the place they habitate. And second, you can discuss the importance of traditional communities' opinion while delineating the land they are already inhabited. And the third one, you can always back your answer by giving an example, and as it's in the question, you can give this Assam-Mizoram border conflict as reference. You can highlight the components of violence and the genesis of the issue while giving it as a case study. And finally, you can conclude your answer with a final statement from your side. Coming back, I'll take a moment to announce 2 new courses launched by our institute. One is Anthropology online course, and this course starts from 18th of August, and as part of this course you will be provided with comprehensive material, and this course is taught by a faculty who has years of expertise in teaching anthropology, that is Susanna. And coming to the next course, that is CSAT test series, and this test series starts from 29th of August, and this will be both online and offline. And as part of this test series, you will be provided with 6 mock tests, and each test will be followed by an explanation. And this test series is dealt by an eminent faculty, Jairav sir and P.S. Solomon sir. And for further details about these 2 courses, you can contact any of the numbers given on the screen, or you can also visit our website www.susanclasses.com. And so let's now start our video. On July 14, Andhra Pradesh filed petition in the Supreme Court against Telangana's illegal utilization of water of the interstate river, that is Krishna River. In response to this, on 2nd August, the Supreme Court advised Andhra Pradesh and Telangana to amicably resolve the dispute on sharing the Krishna River water for drinking and irrigation without the involvement of any third party. Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana, clarified that he would not adjudicate the legal issues involved in the matter, but if the states were forthcoming on settling the dispute through talks, the bench could assist the mediation process. But as the Andhra Pradesh government denied the advised mediation process, the Chief Justice of India denied hearing the case. In order to know why Andhra Pradesh government filed petition against Telangana in Supreme Court and why this decades-old dispute is getting complicated with time, we need to understand geography of the river, constitutional laws involved in the dispute, and historical background of the issue. So first, let's look at the geography of the river flow and water sharing between the upper riparian and lower riparian states. The 1400 km long Krishna River is an east flowing river which originates from Mahabaleshwar in Maharashtra, flows through Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and merges into Bay of Bengal. Dispute originated between these states over the sharing of this water from the Krishna River, and this dispute has been going on for many decades. In order to resolve such interstate water disputes, Article 262 of the Indian Constitution lays out certain provisions. According to this article, Parliament adjudicates any water dispute between 2 or more states with regard to its utilization, distribution, and control of the waters in the interstate river valley. And Parliament also prohibits the Supreme Court or any other court from exercising jurisdiction over the interstate water dispute. According to this Article 262, Parliament has enacted 2 laws. First, Interstate Water Dispute Act 1956. Under this law, to resolve the disputes, tribunals can be set up by the centre, and these tribunals, after hearing the arguments of all the parties involved, will pass a final award which happens to be binding on the member states. And the second one is the River Board Act 1956. This act allows the central government to constitute a river management board based on the request received by the concerned state governments. and this board looks after management of water resources and as well as irrigation and hydropower assets which have interstate implications in particular river basin. With the knowledge of these constitutional mechanisms, now let us briefly look at the historical background of the dispute. To streamline Krishna River water sharing between the states of Maharashtra, Karnataka and erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, that is combined Andhra Pradesh, the Krishna Water Disputes Tribunal headed by R.S. Bachawat was set up in 1969. This tribunal was set up according to the Interstate River Water Dispute Act 1956, which we discussed before, and this tribunal presented its report in 1973. Based on this report, in 1976, the states entered into an agreement to divide the estimated 2016 million cubic feet of Krishna water into three parts. Maharashtra will get 560,000 million cubic feet of water and Karnataka will get 700,000 million cubic feet of water, and erstwhile Andhra Pradesh would get roughly 800,000 million cubic feet. This agreement was signed based on two schemes. First scheme was to share available water based on 75% dependability, and the other was the recommended ways to share the surplus water. And this Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal award may be reviewed or revised by a competent authority or tribunal any time after May 31st of 2000. Later, as new grievances arose between the states, the second Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal headed by Justice Brijesh Kumar was constituted in 2004. It delivered its report in 2010, which made allocations of the Krishna water at 65% dependability. Soon after the 2010 report was presented, erstwhile Andhra Pradesh government challenged it through a special leave petition before the Supreme Court in 2011 on the grounds that injustice was done to the state in allocation of water after the dependability was brought down to 65% by the tribunal against 75% in Bachwan tribunal. As a result of this petition, in the same year, the Apex Court stopped the centre from publishing it in the official gazette. In 2013, the Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal issued a further report which was again challenged by Andhra Pradesh in the Supreme Court in 2014. And we all know that in 2014, Andhra and Telangana got bifurcated. After the creation of Telangana from Andhra Pradesh in 2014, the Water Resources Ministry has been extending the duration of the Krishna Water Distribution Tribunal until today. We should note that in the combined Andhra Pradesh region, several projects including Srisailam, which was completed in 1980, Nagarjuna Sagar 1955, Priyadarshini's Jurala project 1995 and Pulichentala in 2013 were built across the river. These projects were meant to serve different purposes, like for example drinking water, irrigation and hydropower generation. Now let us look at the situation after the bifurcation, that is 2014. After the bifurcation, Andhra Pradesh has since asked that Telangana to be included as a separate party at the Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal and that the allocation of Krishna waters be reworked among 4 states instead of 3. And under the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act 2014, new Apex Council was formed to supervise the functioning of the Godavari River Management Board and Krishna River Management Board, and it also resolves any dispute over sharing of river waters between Andhra Pradesh and Telangana states. And these river management boards were established as part of the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act 2014. If the states have to come up with an irrigation or hydropower projects, then they have to seek the permission of the Apex Council and Centre Water Commission. On a temporary or ad hoc basis, the 2 states agreed to split the water in a 66:34 ratio. 66 is for the Andhra Pradesh and 34 is to the Telangana state. Of the total 811,000 million cubic feet allotted to the combined state, Telangana would receive about 299,000 million cubic feet of water, while residual Andhra Pradesh would get 512,000 million cubic feet. This was challenged by Telangana in the Supreme Court in 2015 and had been pending since then. During the recent Apex Council meeting, Telangana agreed to withdraw its case in the Supreme Court if the centre agrees to constitute a new tribunal to decide the quota between the 2 states. following an assurance from the centre, the Telangana recently withdrew the petition. With this context, let us now get into the main contentious points between both states at present. The main issue revolves around the Nagarjun Sagar, Srisailam and Pulichintala dams on Krishna River, which are situated between Andhra and Telangana states. The right side of these dams comes under the jurisdiction of Andhra Pradesh and left side of these dams comes under the jurisdiction of Telangana. But these jurisdictions are complex and unclear, due to which the dispute regarding the water utilization from these dams arise in some or the other way. But now in focus is the Srisailam dam. The water of the Srisailam reservoir, which is the main storage for river water between the two states, has turned out to be a major worrying point. If you observe the map, we can see that the river forms the border between the Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Now let's see what is the stance of Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister wrote to Prime Minister Narendra Modi in July protesting against Telangana's use of the Srisailam reservoir water for power generation. He complained that the Telangana state was generating power below 834 feet, which is the minimum drawdown level for producing electricity. Due to this hydropower project by Telangana, the water levels in Srisailam reservoir is not rising, and Andhra Pradesh can give water to Rayalaseema region only if the water level in Srisailam reservoir is around 881 feet. Andhra Pradesh CM also noted that Telangana government had not taken the approval of the Krishna River Management Board before going ahead with its plans. Andhra Pradesh government also believes water used for hydel projects is ultimately wasted as it flows into the Bay of Bengal. Now let's see what is Telangana's stance. But Telangana government has said it will never stop generating power, adding that the Krishna River Management Board has no right to object because there were no agreements between the states on hydel power generation. The Telangana government said it needed the hydel energy to power its Netampadu, Bhima, Koil Sagar and Kalvakurti lift irrigation projects. Meanwhile, Telangana also objects to the Andhra government's administrative sanction of the Rayalaseema lift irrigation scheme, a new project to meet the water and irrigation requirements of people in the dry Rayalaseema region. At the heart of this project is the Potireddipadu head regulator, from which Rayalaseema in Andhra Pradesh gets water. The head regulator allows the water to enter into the canal, and this head regulator is located towards down the Srisailam reservoir. As part of this project, the canal will be widened to transport 88,000 cusecs, double its present capacity of 44,000 cusecs. Telangana government is taking the fight forward. It has now conceived half a dozen new irrigation projects as an inevitable consequence to Andhra's Rayalaseema lift irrigation scheme project execution. Telangana has also demanded a 50/50 share of the Krishna waters instead of the present 66/34 ratio of sharing. With these different perceptions from both states, an announcement of new projects on the line of Krishna River, the issue is intensifying more. There is a need for clear jurisdiction of river management boards by the Union Jal Shakti Ministry. Not only Krishna River dispute, there are many other ongoing interstate water disputes in India which hinder the cooperative federalism of our nation. These are the questions made by our institute, keeping in mind both upcoming preliminary examinations and mains examinations. Let's see what are these questions. First one, pertaining to the Article 262 of the Indian Constitution, consider the following statements. Statement A. Parliament may by law provide for the adjudication of any dispute or complaint with respect to the use, distribution or control of the waters of or in any interstate river or river valley. Statement B. Parliament may by law provide that neither the Supreme Court nor any other court shall exercise jurisdiction in respect of any interstate river dispute. And the answer to these questions we already discussed in the constitutional law section, so you can check in the video for the explanation. And the second question, which of the following tribunal was first set up to streamline Krishna River water sharing between the concerned states? We have discussed answer to this question in the historical background section of the video. You can check that part of the video. Coming to mains question, escalating tensions between Telangana and Andhra Pradesh over Krishna River. Comment. You can provide answers to these questions in the comment section below. That's all for today, guys. Hope you have learned something out of this video. And as usual, I have mentioned all the resources I utilized to make this video in the description below. Kindly check them. And if you want me to make any other video on interstate dispute or any other current issue in detail, you can let me know in the comment section. Any kind of suggestions or feedback are always welcome. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for further updates. Until next video, please tune in. Thank you.